Hi, I'm Tanya Williams, Chief of Everything at Digital Conversations, and we're down here at Digital Strategy Summit in Sydney. Today I'm talking to Mark Jackson. Mark is Deputy Registrar of the Australian Business Register. Mark, welcome. Thanks for having a chat to us. One of the things we were chatting about off camera was how you guys are doing a lot in this space to really enable businesses to use digital channels better, which I love. So what are the three components that you think are the most important part of that?
Well, thanks, Tanya. Nice to talk to you. I'm looking forward to talking here at the conference this afternoon about this exact issue. But the three components that we look after are a digital identity, a digital credential, and then a system for interchanging information digitally between business and government, but a system that can also be used for interchange between business and business. And use of this system should produce significant savings for the business community in its activities.
Oh, interesting. So how did you guys identify that there was a need for that?
Well, you don't have to ask too many people in business to realise that they have a problem with red tape and reporting to government. Now, I can't understand why people... No, I do understand why people feel that way. In fact, one of the state governments did a bit of research in 2010 and found out that in the 50 years preceding that, they'd introduced 75,000 pages of legislation or regulation into their parliament. Now that's a lot of
75,000 pages.
75,000
I'm not reading
pages.
That.
No, well, and that's just one state. So you've got 7 other states and territories plus the federal government. So you can understand why, even with the very best of intentions and the very best organisation of that sort of legislative framework, there are still problems and considerable reporting burdens that flow from it. So the business community tells us all the time. We're aware ourselves of the issue. The federal government has announced red tape reduction as a major priority for it, and indeed I think it said it was going to reduce it by $1 billion in this term of government.
Yep.
And so we're working very hard to help achieve that outcome.
Awesome. Got to love anything that reduces red tape, I say.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what's the take-up been like that from a business perspective? I would imagine most people would be embracing the fact that there's less red tape and they can do more across, using digital channels.
It's interesting because what we've done, despite a very big investment by government, still is suffering from what I would call the normal digital take-up dilemma.
Okay.
And that is, people just take a while to get around to adopting and to using. If you think back to, for those of you who can remember, back to the adoption of EFTPOS, originally people were very suspicious of, and the cards were closely kept, and now of course you should wave your card and get out the restaurant as soon as you can. So it does take a little while for the community to adapt and pick things up.
Very true, yeah.
The system was put online in 2010 for the financial reporting area of government. And this year we expect there to be between 10 and 12 million transactions through the system. Probably within 2 years, on our current understanding of the things that are occurring within business and government, that'll run up to somewhere between 50 and 100 million transactions a year. So adoption, we've got past that sort of early stage of concern, and we're now seeing quite rapid acceleration in growth.
So how are you promoting that out to business people then?
Well, being here today is a key part of that.
Yeah.
We've been very cautious not to run out and make false promises or optimistic promises to the business community.
Can solve all your problems?
Yeah, we haven't got a silver bullet here. Public servants don't like red tape more than as much as anyone else. We have to deal with the other side of it. So to the extent we can streamline that, we want to, but we don't want to promise things to business that can't be delivered. So we've been very cautious to make sure that the system is developed and is working and is operational and is proven before we talk too much about it to the business community. Yeah. But I can tell you that today we have about 60 software developers who are offering SBR-enabled product either for sale or available for sale.
Yeah.
We have about another 30 who are testing operational systems, and about another 60 who are in the development phases. So these are people who can either sell software to the business community, which will facilitate digital interactions, or will provide a middleware or an overlaying software system that integrates into back-end bespoke systems for big organisations.
Yeah.
So these are all available in the market, and there's information about them on our website at www.sbr.gov.au.
Cool. It sounds like you guys are really taken something where there's a big need for, and really sort of doing something interesting and making us finding a solution that is really needed in that space. Because like most business owners, that's one of the things that I hate. Doing anything that's going to make my life easier is a great thing, and I think every business person would say the exact same thing.
Well, from our perspective, our focus is to try and give business the capability to be more productive. We're in an increasingly competitive market. We're in the Southeast Asian sort of market.
Yep.
It's very hard to compete there. Our businesses have got enough problems competing with that without being burdened by more red tape than is absolutely necessary. So anything that we can do to streamline that reporting, to make it all work better and more efficiently, we'll certainly be trying to do.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing how it all evolves and comes about.
Thanks, Tanya. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Mark.